I'm looking out the window of our studio here in Rochester, New York, and what I see is the leaves are covered with snow. It's not Thanksgiving yet. The snow is on the ground, which means it's going to be early ski bumming this year, which means the Athletic Podcast will make its way around New York State and Vermont very quickly to indulge in much downhill splendor. So today, we have a very good episode. As far as I'm concerned, if you are a ski bum, you should enjoy this. We have a round table of several generations of skiers from New York State. I'm going to start with the introduction of Aaron Cook, who's calling in from Whiteface area again, and the Whiteface Terrain Park rat. Aaron Cook is with us. If you'd say hello, Aaron.
How's it going?
He was with us a couple episodes ago. We had him back quickly because the ski season is going to be on us faster than we think, and there's a lot of changes going on at Whiteface. We want to make sure everybody knows about it before you pick where you're going this year, because Whiteface needs to be on your destination for this year with all the changes. So we're going to get back to you in a second there, Aaron. So we also have Eric Miller in the room, who is a local entrepreneur. I'm going to let him introduce his company, but Eric, I was introduced to because of a new business I'm about to form, and he's knows a little bit about the cannabis industry and New York State, as well as he's just a good old boy skier. So as soon as I found out he was a skier and we are in similar businesses, I wanted to make sure he was on for this discussion. He's been skiing longer than I have, but so Mr. Miller, please introduce yourself a little bit and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh man. Well, Rochester born and bred. I've been skiing since I was 2, so I got 34 years under my belt. Love it. That's like my first and foremost, and I pretty much did what I could basically to ski. And
you own Hempire State Smoke Shop, is that correct?
Yeah, a few years back. I I went to school for printing. I went in the printing industry for 8 years, and then finally said, heck with this, I'm out. And my father-in-law, everything just lined up, and the two of us started Hempire State Smoke Shop. And, we just put it together, and there it is. We've been going 4 years. 4 years this November.
So what are you selling at the shop, just so people know? And you're on Lyle Avenue in Greece, or I'm sorry, in Gates, is that correct?
In Gates, yeah. It's basically what you'd find in a head shop, but we try to do a lot more. We're real big on CBD. We push that a lot, and we try to just change things up a little bit. I felt like when you walk into a head shop, you feel like cattle. You're herded in, herded out, and I really wanted to just bring like that Sam Walton ideal to it, where you're greeting people at the door, you're talking them through what they're looking for, you're educating them, and then you're going out and finding products that you're not finding in head shops, and you're just bringing a whole totally different feel that you're not finding in stores in New York.
That's what I loved right away when I went in a shop, and of course that's why I have them on here, because everybody knows the reason why I open every podcast is the reason why is we meet people, and you know it's for a reason, and it was no reason. Obviously, skiing was the main reason I met Eric, I can tell, but he knows a lot about this industry, and he's looking to help people and making sure they're not just spending money and they're getting what they need, which is a big thing, because you need to have people you trust in any walk of life. And then the last member of our circle here today would be Mr. Spencer Lane, who's very special and near and dear to me. He's been with me my whole life. No, I can't say that. I've been with him his whole life, which he wishes at times I'm sure I'm not. But this is my son, and he's been a ski bum since an early age as well. So, Spencer, would you say hello and just tell people where you're in from today for this Thanksgiving holiday?
What's up, guys? I'm Spencer. Right now, I'm in from University at Buffalo, coming in for Thanksgiving break. I just got in last night, so I'm happy to be on the podcast right now and talking to the voice you hear every week.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. That was very nice of you. So, Aaron, I want to hear about Whiteface because I've been seeing some pictures from up there, and I see snow. And if I'm not mistaken, the terrain park actually has features on it.
Yeah, well, yes. That's our early park. We always usually set up on Lower Valley, but I was actually just talking to the boys today. They're pushing up some little jumps for opening weekend over on Broadway. As you may or may not know, we had some new snowmaking technology installed at Whiteface. I briefly talked about that earlier, and we got the new snow that's coming out of those is, from what I'm gathering from the cat drivers, is it's pumping out. So we're going to be having not only a lot of natural snow, but we'll have a lot of good man-made. And from what I gather, the whole lower mountain of Whiteface will be open starting Friday, and that will be
right on.
open. Friday will be going until closing. So we start our big weekend. Obviously this after Thanksgiving on Friday.
How much snow accumulation are they? Do you think you've seen up there so far?
Oh, we were skiing powder last weekend was the first weekend it opened. We were skiing a lot of people skiing a little bit off piste and getting some good turns early season. It's kind of unbelievable. Almost right where we left off in last April, as we kind of left in a snowstorm in April. As one of our last weekends, I remember.
Late season was great last year.
Late season was phenomenal. This season's starting out very strong, very very strong, and we've been pushing a lot up there. And when I talk about I'm talking about the groomers, not just the park, including everybody.
How does the peak look as far as accumulation up there?
Oh, there's a lot of snow up there. There's a lot of snow. You can play around a lot, almost anywhere this early, but I don't recommend it unless you got some beaters on.
The skins get you up there. So real quick, I know a big thing for this year for Whiteface was the expansion, the widening of some of the trails. Can you talk about it a little bit? Yeah. Yeah,
they widened. The first trail we got to see get a little bit wider was Brookside, and it's a lot wider. So we're going to probably be able to put safely three features across the board. So we'll just a bunch of almost like 3-pack kind of set up. So you'll have lots of options and in different ways. Usually we set it up so it has kind of some funky little flows, little side hits, and all that kind of fun stuff that goes with parks. So we can not look at it linear and look at it from all angles.
That's fun. No, my son, he's better than me. And I think I heard him say to someone earlier today that I'm a wimp in the park, or I was when he was younger. So he didn't go in the park a lot when he was younger. So I was being blamed for that. But so what you're saying, by being able to go 3 wide, it's going to probably make it a little bit better for families to go through there too, because I'm sure you're going to have different size features a little bit. I mean, they're going to be medium and large, I'm sure, but.
It'll be usually Brookside is more of we've been trying to keep that more of our larger park, although it's kind of hard because everyone kind of bottlenecks in there and a lot of families and stuff want to go through there and check it out. But it most likely it will be a little bit safer, and we're excited for the fact that for our jump spaces too, for landings. It's always nice to have nice wide landings so we can get couple lips up there for the jumps.
That's excellent. So I asked you the last time you were on about the science of building jumps.
Right.
Is there an exact science to it? Do the groomers know like approximately how many feet to build takeoffs for certain landing areas? Can you talk to us for like 8 hours about how you guys design terrain parks and jumps? Because to me, I want to be able to figure out how to pick speeds to go into jumps, because I feel like I can, like I told you before, I can handle the bigger jumps if I know the speed going into it and comfortable. So help us with this.
It's funny, growing up, like trying to hit jumps, watching what the guys were doing out west and stuff, and we didn't have any of that around here. So we had to really just kind of come up with it on our own. And I remember going down, like, what is it, Ski Valley down past Bristol, and going back down there and like building jumps. No, not all the way to Hunt Hollow. It's like right down the road, a closed resort, and we'd build jumps back there.
Right. Yeah.
I remember building just booters back there, and like you're talking like 50-foot jumps, and it was just like, okay, how fast are we gonna go, and who was the guinea pig that day? And you just went for it, and there'd be a couple people impacting pretty good before you figured it out. And oh man, and nowadays it's like you come into a park and you just line up and you know where to start, and it's so nice because you just go. You know you're gonna land it. If you got a good landing, like, things work out. But I've impacted way too much on jumps, and I wish I was 15 again. Holy smokes! Like, I'd love to be out there in the parks these days.
That's true. So what Eric is describing is Bristol Mountain. We're lucky here, Aaron. We have a 1,200-foot vertical here, Bristol Mountain, which is the most between Gore and the Rockies. And around that, there's a couple ridge lines that are pretty just as good. And what he's saying is Ski Valley is this little closed place, a little south of there, that I forgot all about until you just mentioned it. And so you basically made them by hand? I mean, you guys shovels and just
you go down there, throw up some snow fence, and just start packing snow into it.
Just make a runway.
Pack it. Yeah, make a runway and just, go
and that's
for
where
it.
Aaron described his college days like that. Remember, Aaron? That was a great story you told. So, so more about the train park, Aaron. But so these kids now, what we're saying is, luckily, they have these Armada skis, they have these line skis, they have these great bindings, and now they got these stuff that you are designing. And how are you designing it?
Well, there is a method to the madness, but it's mostly madness, and you hope it works out. We still, believe it or not, we still use quote-unquote guinea pigs. I was definitely a guinea pig for the park when I was 15, I still was a guinea pig for the park up till last year. Before I broke my leg, I was the guy that tested all the jumps. Because I was one more for the airs. So when we build the jumps and stuff, we got the cat, and in our cat that we have this neat cat that's got we'll tell you the angle that you put on your lip, like when your tracks are, when you're pushing the jump or whatever it may be, your lip or jump, whatever you want to call it. You can see the angle, so you really. I'm not specific on the numbers, but I want to say, we try to find that spot, and the big thing is trying to have a nice long landing. That's really more important than the science of the lip. I think is just making sure you have a safe landing, because you don't want it too short. You don't want it also too flat. And that's a problem we've had is making our landings too flat. And we have nowhere to really winch, which is what they do a lot out west, is they'll winch their landings, which makes them a little bit safer, and it doesn't give you that shin bang that you used to. So
when you say winch, that means you're hooking up the cats to something, so it's a little of a steeper angled pitch for the landing.
So that way the cats can only push so much coming down to up before it won't push anymore. So once you get that winch cat, that's going to be able to allow you to climb steeper areas, and that's actually how we do a lot of our steeper trails. Like we'll talk like the Mogul one, like Wilderness, Skyward, and stuff like that. When that gets groomed, that's all has to be done by a winch, and stuff like that. But a lot of the places out west, they do that with, and even we have done it at Whiteface and getting them steep, but. I mean, there's also new ways that our cat drivers are learning. I was talking to Josh Wagner and about he's our main guy that's been pushing the jumps on and off for the last 6-7 years. So he's gotten very very good at building jumps. I'm really happy with where he's built jumps. We did that huge shoot for Ski the East. That jump was. You can probably find that on the internet somewhere. They came out west, and we built a really big, huge jump. And it was unfortunately like the week before I broke my leg, so I never got to participate in that little shenanigans. But when we built that of course you needed to have a lot of speed, and people were actually getting brought in with a snowmobile. But that was more the professional or the higher, bigger jumps. Now the jumps like what we will be